Welcome back, beloveds. I have made Buvidal videos before, but I've had a few comments, so I want to explore Buvidal again. I want to talk about Buvidal. Buvidal is a medication often misunderstood. Many people think it's only for treating withdrawals, but that's not the whole story. I have been on Buvidal since 2020 for chronic pain, and I want to share what it does, the pros and cons, and why it can be helpful. So Buvidal is long-acting and it can last a week or a month. My actual background, I'm dependent on prescribed opioids since 2004, and I took opioids for pain. I didn't abuse them. I wasn't an addict, and I switched to Buvidal monthly injections, 128 milligrams in 2022. So what is Buvidal? Buvidal is a form of buprenorphine given as weekly or monthly injections. Sometimes I've heard of it being given under the tongue, but for the purpose of the video, we're going to talk about it as an injection. It binds to the same receptors as opioids, but in a more controlled and steady way. So what does it do? For some, Buvidal helps cravings and withdrawals. For people like me, it helps manage chronic pain while reducing the risks that comes with daily opioid tablets. Now here are the injection sites. So it's usually a subcutaneous injection, and the different ones you can see, you can go in your upper arm, your back, the sides. So I have mine in my abdomen. It's less painful than anywhere else. But yeah, it's a subcutaneous injection, and I get mine in my lower abdomen. This is what the buprenorphine or Buvidal looks like. So you can see it's got quite a small injection because it's subcutaneous. These are just two different packets. This is a weekly one of 64, I think it's coming in 12 megs, or the equivalent of a monthly 64. I'm on 128. That's the maximum in Australia that you can be on. So this talks about how it's stored, and it's stored in the fridge, and available doses. This is again based in Australia. There's weekly, there's like 5 milligrams, 16 milligrams, 28 milligrams or 32. On a monthly, you start at 64, and then you can go up to 96, and then 128, which is what I'm on. So this is what I'm on, 128, and it's a monthly injection. That's what it looks like, and I have mine in my stomach. This is just an Australian. It shows you that the different dosage, and it shows you that in Australia the maximum dose for a month is 128, and there's no equivalent higher than the 32. So maximum's 32 for a week. I'll just leave that on, so that when it says 160, that TGA, which stands for Therapeutic Goods Association, I think it is, doesn't approve of any higher than 128 milligrams or UGs for the month. Now this, I tried to find a graph to show you blood levels. So what happens is at the start of, say you're first going on Buvidal, it reaches a certain level in your blood, and then over, say you're on it a week, it maintains that level for the week. This is what's good about Buvidal. So if you continue to have Buvidal, what will happen is that in your bloodstream, it will only go to a certain level, and it doesn't matter that you try and you're taking 100, like me, 128 every month. It will never go higher than a certain level, and it stays at that level for up to about 6 weeks. So someone who's on a monthly injection, the earliest they can have that injection is 2 weeks, and you can as long as you can wait 6 weeks before the levels in your blood start to drop. So here are some pros. The benefits are huge. No more remembering daily tablets, a steadier pain control, there's less risk of overdose or misuse. And for me, just one monthly visit. The cons. There are downsides too. The injection can sting, especially if you tense your muscles, it does sting. I find that with me, I have 1 out of every 10 sting, but when you start to know what you're getting, your mind takes, if your mind is fearsome, then of course it's going to sting. And I've had bruising because in my abdomen there are tiny little blood vessels, and sometimes my doctor has accidentally stung in a blood and got me in a blood vessel. And once it's been delivered, you can't change the dose. So once you can't change the dose once it's given, and it's not right for everyone. So I'll just let this slide sink in before I change it. The next one is clearing misconceptions. One big misconception is that Buvidal is only for people with addiction. That's not true. It's also a valid treatment for chronic pain. Another myth is it doesn't help with pain. My experience is that it does, and because I told you earlier about it staying at a constant level in your blood, unlike opioids that you take and will only have, after a few hours, you're back in pain. Buvidal lasts the whole month, so you don't have these up and down, in and out of pain, and you've got a steady, as I've explained, blood level over that week or that month. There's no withdrawals, there's no cravings. So say I am a week or 2 weeks past my 4 weeks of having my injection, there is no withdrawal. And even if I decide to come off it, what my doctor has said is that if I decide to come off it, is that one of two things. We can, instead of having it every month, is break it out to 5 or 6 weeks and see how I feel. If I don't have pain, then try 7 weeks. Or the other idea is reduce the dosage. So I'm on 128 milligrams. If I reduced it to 96 and then to 64, and then eventually the level will just drop off in my blood. But apparently I'm so well at the moment on Buvidal that my doctor is keeping me. So yeah, this is a picture of me looking so well. And for me, Buvidal has meant stability, pain relief, and freedom from daily pills. I was on Genista. It may not be for everyone, but it deserves to be understood as more than just a withdrawal treatment. So, in other words, those people who think it's just for addicts, no, it's not. It's also for chronic pain. Thank you for watching, and as I said earlier, please check out my earlier videos that I made on Buvidal. They are commentary videos. Please share a comment. I hope this has been informative. As always, I am not a health professional. I did do nursing a long time ago, but if you want to know more about Buvidal, please seek a health professional. Ask your doctor if it's right for you, because as I just said, it is not right for everyone. So please be kind to each other and to yourselves. Love, light, and blessings. And my email address for anyone who wants to contact me is gemamberstone@gmail.com. That's JEMAMBERSTONE@gmail.com. You take care now. Goodbye.